Hello subscribers and YouTube watchers from slidenerd. This is Views over here. In this video, I'm going to talk about the list view in Android in detail. The list view is a very complex view, and hence this video alone won't be enough to cover everything about what you can do with the list view. So I hope you guys will be staying tuned for the next couple of videos which will be based only on the list view. In this video, I will explain the concept of the list view, and then in the next video, we will jump into Android Studio and actually make a simple list. So let's get started. What is a list view? Very simply stated, you have a very small device, which is your mobile device, right? And you want to display large amount of information. For example, say 100 contacts on your phone. Now, there are two approaches. One, you can load everything on your phone and then expect that the user will see everything, or you can load the data partially. Now both have disadvantages, right? If you load everything, you're going to take a lot of resources, and if you load partially, then you will have to manage exactly how much data to show. For example, on a smaller screen, the user may be seeing just 7 or 8 of these, but on a bigger screen, the user may see 10 of these. So are you going to manage this information for each and every different type of device? No. And that is why you have the list view in Android that takes care of this management for you. And then again, the list view avoids the need for pagination. Now you guys remember, if you search something on Google, you get the results and there are page numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottom, right? You don't want to do that in a mobile device, and that is why your list view is used. When you have large amounts of information, the view alone is not enough to cover how the data is displayed. You also need something called a model, and that is what you have something called adapter. The adapter is a class, or you can say a series of classes that are responsible for managing where to fetch the data and how to create a simple view out of that data. Now remember, I said simple view. And then you have something called the adapter view. Now these guys are responsible for managing how the data should be presented to the user, whether it is a list of data like in the list view, whether it's data along rows and columns like a grid view, and so on, right? So how does the list view work? Very simply stated, here's a simple architecture, or you can say a simple model of how the list view works. You have a data source which contains some names, let's say contact names. It can be from an array inside your Java program, or it can be through a cursor inside your database. This data is fetched by something called a ListAdapter. For each element it fetches, it creates a simple view out of that data. Now remember, it's a very simple view like a text view or an image view and a text view combined, something like that. Now this ListAdapter is actually an interface. There are many subclasses that provide the implementation. For example, ArrayAdapter fetches the data from a string array. Simple cursor adapter fetches the data from a database. Base adapter allows you to customize how to fetch data and how to display that as a view, which again we are going to see in the upcoming videos. And this single view now is replicated entirely inside your Android adapter view, which is your list view in our case. And as you guys can see, Jacob, Mason, Ethan, Noah, each of these are individual views created using the list adapter from the data source. This is how the list view works in Android. Pretty simple, right? So let's actually go and see a more practical approach behind this and try to understand, or you can say break the list view into pieces and understand each piece separately. So here again I have my data source with some names: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah blah blah, right? And then I have my list adapter, which is gonna take Sunday first and create a simple view out of that. As you guys can see over here, there is the Sunday, and then there is a small image icon. Now the advantage of this is you can customize how each single row appears inside your list view. For example, here my single row is actually made up of two parts. As you guys can see, there's an image view and there's a text view. Now if you have seen many apps out there, there are some real complex combinations of how a single row appears, right? And then this single row is used as a basis for creating other rows out there: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that actually fits inside your complete list view. And this is how things work. So enough talking about how things work. Let's actually see how to make a simple list view. Step 1, define the data source. Step 2, define how the data will be converted into a simple view using a list adapter. Step 3, define what happens after the list view has been created and the user clicks on, say, one of the rows inside your list view. What action will you take? And these are the 3 simple steps. So let's actually go ahead. Step 1, define the array. It can be anything, a simple Java array in our case, which has Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and the other names inside. Step 2, we are going to use an array adapter, because as I told you, there are different types of adapters. You want to read data from an array, use an array adapter. Now what it does is it assumes that one row of data is represented by a single text view. So all you have to tell your array adapter is the context where you're currently running, the layout ID, or you can say the layout file for a single simple row, which may either contain a text view or something. But for now, let's just take a text view in example. And then you have a string array, which is actually the data, right? After all, your array adapter has to read the data from the source. So this is actually the source, the string array that you see over here. And then you have to simply set your list adapter to be equal to that array adapter, because remember, in the second step you have only created the object. In the third step you tell the list that, hey dude, use this array adapter which was created in the second step to actually collect data. So at this point you're almost done with the list view. Now your list view will be completely created. In the step 3, it's very simple. After the list view has been created, you see all the rows. Now the user clicks on one of the rows. What should happen? For that, use the onItemClickListener. Now this can be done in many different ways. I'm just talking about one of the ways right now. You have the onItemClickListener, which has a method called onItemClick with 4 arguments. The first argument represents that who was the main guy who contained all the rows. In our case, it was the list view. And then the second parameter is which row was clicked. Now remember, each row is not a simple object. It itself is a view created by your list adapter. So this parameter tells you the text view or any other complex view that was clicked as a single row, right? And then in the third step, you simply get the position where the user clicked. For example, it's just like an array. 0 means you click the first item in the list view, and so on, right? And then the fourth parameter is a long ID. It gives the row ID of the text view. Now remember, this doesn't matter much when you're reading from simple text strings, but when you're reading from a database, this parameter contains some useful information. We are gonna see what it is later. So for now, we are wrapping up this video with the concept. In the next video, I'm gonna go ahead, implement whatever I talked about the list view here, and then we are gonna see how the list view works. So I hope you guys have understood something out of this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Catch us at slidenerd.com. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.